Yeah, this is Pimp and Mo, aka Mo the Pimp God, aka Mo the Diabolical, coming at you with another Pimp Cup Sessions. I'm gonna talk about what happened at this strip club out here in Arlington, Texas. This Chicas Locas, this little Spanish, Mexican, Cuban strip club out here. These managers at this club, they simply trying to strong arm pimp some of these Cuban females and Mexican women and these other Spanish-speaking females at this club. They all end up getting in trouble. All end up getting cases put on them by the city of Arlington, by Tarrant County. They're in there trying to strong arm pimp some of these women, making them do sexual acts for money. And I'm like, these people are supposed to be the model minority. These folks come over here and saying that they come over here to work hard. They work harder than anybody else. And this is not the truth. These people are some of the biggest criminals on the face of the earth. And it shows you right here. The whole club got in trouble. The whole management staff got in trouble. And it's ridiculous. There's another club out there in Dallas called Chicas Bonitas. Another Spanish strip club. They got raided by ICE, and on top of that, they had some human trafficking going on, just like this club. And there's been some other Chicas Locas around the state of Texas, like in Houston, I believe, and some other places that's then got shut down for the same reasons. There's no black people at any of these clubs, not one black person at any of these clubs doing anything. So that showed you we not the biggest criminals in the world. We don't commit all the crimes like they say foundational black Americans do. We're not the biggest criminals. These people are the biggest criminals. I hate to throw these folks under the bus, but these people stay in trouble. They try to make these Cuban women commit sexual acts. I don't know where they were doing it at, because it's like, I've been to the club before many times. It's they got a little back room, then they got like upstairs. So I don't know where they was trying to do these little sexual acts at, because everything is all in the open. They got a little back room where they can do little lap dances and stuff like that. I think they might have been where the stuff was taking place at. But that's crazy that the whole strip club, the whole management team, and the DJ got in trouble. Oh my God. This strip club was bought out by Rick's ownership. They own a whole bunch of strip clubs out here in Texas and all over the United States. They took over the strip club. They took over Baby Dolls as well out here in Fort Worth. They got burned down, so they made Cabaret East a strip club out there in Fort Worth. It's like on the border of Arlington, Fort Worth, and Euless. It's not really in Fort Worth. It's like basically like in Euless almost. Is basically what they need to call it is Euless. It's not really Fort Worth. But they took over that club. So they owned all these clubs out here in Arlington, Fort Worth, Euless area. They own a strip club out there by DFW Airport, Rick's DFW. They own Cabaret East. They own a lot of clubs out here, Rick's in Fort Worth, on the west side of Fort Worth. So they took that club over. And there's this guy, this mixed-looking black dude. He was, I think he like the district manager or something. I knew he had to know what was going on at that club, and he didn't do anything about it. I don't know what the hell was he thinking. I know he knows what was going on over there. He just didn't do nothing. I don't know why he still has a job. But anyway, all these people got taken down. They talk about taking the liquor license from the strip club. Rick's going to end up getting in trouble because they own the place. They bought it out. So all these people went to jail for human trafficking or some drug charges. One DJ had some drug charges. Then it had some Mexican dude in there selling drugs. Just a big old type of cartel type of thing going on in this strip club. No black people nowhere around. So it's sad that these folks come over here and commit all these crimes and have the nerve to talk shit about black people, talk stuff about foundational black Americans. We criminals, we lazy, we don't want to work, but these people come over here and commit all the crimes in the world. Human trafficking, they own folks. trying to make these Cuban women give up their paper. And there's a bunch of Cubans that be be working at some of these strip clubs out here in the DFW area. It's a lot of Cubans. I don't know where they come from. I don't know if they being human trafficked over here by some of these Cubans. I know it's a lot of Venezuelans. I know it's a lot of Spanish speaking people from like Central America. I know it's Mexicans out here, Cubans, it's Venezuelans, El Salvadorian. I heard a chick was from Argentina out here. There's so many of them out here. I don't know if they're getting human trafficking or what, but they bringing a lot of these women over here and they put them all in a strip club, making it like a hoe house. I don't know what they was doing in their own country, but they making these females come over here and put them inside the strip club. They don't speak no English. You got to get your phone out and Google Translate to talk to some of these women. They don't understand what you're saying. You got to get your phone out and you can Google Translate. They don't speak no kind of English. So I don't know how these females are getting over here. They got some type of human trafficking ring going on. But some of these Cubans, there's so many Cubans over here. I don't know what happened in Florida. I don't know if they leaving Florida because it's overran by Cubans over there. I don't know what's going on, but they out here in Texas in these strip clubs. And it's insane because when you go to the strip club out here, you see nothing but Cubans. You don't even see a whole bunch of black women working. You don't see a bunch of white women working. And you kind of see some Mexican women working that speak English, but they overtaken by some of these Cubans and these other Central American, South American women, whatever you want to call them, Puerto Ricans and Cubans and Dominicans. They all inside the strip clubs out here. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know when these Cubans start taking over, man, but it's too many of them out here. They ain't all making money. I know this club called Baby Dolls full of Cubans, and Rick's DFW full of Cubans as well. I can only imagine how many Cubans end up in there, Chicas, Locas. But it's a lot of them out here. And these women really don't have anything to offer, man. I mean, they got these little dudes picking them up, they little pimps, picking them up and dropping them off. You rarely see any one of these women even have their own cars. As I see a couple of them that can drive themselves, but most of the time they getting picked up by some dude, some Cuban, some dude somewhere. They human trafficker, they pimp. Human trafficking ain't pimping. You holding somebody against their will, or you making them pay you back. That's human trafficking. They ain't got nothing to do with no pimping. They ain't got no game. None of these Cuban dudes ain't got no game, man. They ain't got no kind of game, get no female. Only female they can get is one of their own females. They can't come out here and get no white woman, no black woman. They ain't got no game to go out there and get nobody else, man. They just human trafficking and pretend pimping their own Cuban women, man. That ain't nothing. If you really out here pimping, you got game for every color of female. Don't matter what color she is. Don't matter if she speak English or not. You got to have some game to get some of these women. You can't sit there and just strong arm pimp these women, make these women do something for you that they don't want to do. Because I can only imagine some of the women don't want to be in there stripping. They don't. They got to pay whoever they brought them over here back. I know some Venezuelan female said she got to pay some dude $10,000 back for bringing her over here. That's why she's stripping. I'm like, come on, man. Let these folks get away with all kind of crime. Let these people come over here and human traffic all these different type of females and then don't get no kind of trouble. But as soon as a black person do something, we getting a book thrown at us. It's ridiculous. These people are not the model minority. These folks commit the biggest criminals in the world, commit all these crimes. Black people, foundational black Americans, we're not human trafficking people to a whole nother country. And then we ain't getting no kind of trouble for it. Come on, man. Sometimes the United States is a joke, letting these immigrants come over here and commit all these crimes, man. I'm glad ICE is out here doing what they got to do, but they need to come out here in Texas, start rounding some of these people up. Instead of out there in Minnesota, Minneapolis, they need to be out here. But yeah, these folks are not the model minority. These folks up there trying to strong arm pimp these Cubans, end up going to jail. They've been doing this for a long time. I don't know who told on them. I don't know if there was a special undercover that went in there and found out what was going on, but I'm glad they got these folks, man. I'm glad they get them up out of here. I never had no problem with none of these folks at this strip club, but I can already see what was going on. You very, very rarely see any black people in there, any black men in there. You know, they don't even like black folks in that strip club. You know, they barely even want to serve black dudes in that strip club. You know what I'm saying? I used to go in there a lot. I stopped going in there because they had a big old brawl in that club. A whole bunch of Mexicans and Cubans in there fighting. The bartenders was fighting. The management was fighting. That was like a couple of years, like 3 years ago, I believe. Everybody was in there fighting, and the police had to come, and somebody sprayed pepper spray everywhere. It was ridiculous. But nobody black in there. It was like me and another dude that was in there. We were the only two black people in there. We didn't throw no punches. We didn't get in any kind of situation with none of them folks in there. So I don't want to sit up here and hear nobody say anything about what black people do out here. There's a whole strip club full of Cubans and Mexicans. They all in there fighting each other. One dude, some Mexican dude, hitting some bartender in the face, some girl, and knocked her out or whatever. It was crazy, man. I was like, look at this. Ain't nobody black in here acting a fool, nothing but Mexicans in here. It's ridiculous, man. And then they had a door girl in there, some chubby white girl. She got a little Mexican fetish. Every time I turn around, she in a relationship with some dude, but she a white supremacist, but she got a little fetish for Mexican dudes, whatever. And I forgot what the girl's name was, but she was the main person working the door. I think like on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I think she worked the door over there, and she's a hardcore white supremacist, carrying guns in her purse, don't like nobody black. But then she like dating these Mexican dudes, but then don't want to spend no money. You see what I'm saying? Once she got to come out of her pocket, she don't want to come out of her pocket to deal with these dudes. You see what I'm saying? She got a little fetish for them. I think she ended up finna getting married to one of them, and I feel bad for the little Mexican dude she with because she's a white supremacist, and she has some of these white supremacists be having little fetishes, man, and she had like a little Mexican boyfriend some years ago, and she paid some money to try to get him, because he got deported, and tried to get him from Mexico back over here, and all. He wasn't working, he was selling drugs, and I was like, woman, you could do better than that. Then she found some other little Mexican dude. But when it comes down to her, coming out of her pocket, she don't want to do it. You see what I'm saying? I peeped that from that woman a long time ago, some years ago. When she got to open up her purse to do some things, she don't want to do it at all for none of these Mexicans, but she just want to lay up with them and live this little fetish fairy tale with some of these dudes out here. I don't know what's going on with this woman, but I know for a fact she's a card-carrying white supremacist. So I don't know if she was involved with any human trafficking up there, but she didn't get arrested. They had some tall white dude up there, forgot his name. I didn't even know he was even involved with these folks, these Mexicans up there, doing the stuff that he was doing with these folks, and he ended up going to jail. He was the only white dude that worked there. He ended up going to jail. I'm like, dude, you can't get involved with these folks. He had messed his whole life up. Now you got like a human trafficking case. Can't get no job, broke. You can't do nothing out here when you get a case on you. And this charge too. So I don't know what he was thinking. But man, you can't be kicking it with some of these folks, man. That's why I like kicking it by myself. And you can't get yourself in trouble like that, man, doing some stuff like that. I ain't trying to human traffic nobody. I ain't trying to make no female do something she don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? I just want a female to bring some shit to the table besides sex. They ain't got nothing to do with pimping her out, nothing to do with putting her on no corner, nothing to do with putting her in no strip club. That's just me being a man. But it's been Mo, the Pimp God, a.k.a. Pimp and Mo.